Hello, Georgia. Nice meeting you.
Start again. Hola, guapos.
Hola.
Hola, Georgia's here. Yay, she's here. Yippee. We're glad to have you. Welcome to the north of Spain.
Is it cooler up there?
It is.
It's greener, and you get the 4 seasons, and it's beautiful up here. If you like green weather, let me tell you.
No. I lived in England. That was enough.
Okay. Now, if you're in the south, I was in Cadiz for 13 years, and I don't want to go back.
Yeah, well, Cadiz is different. Cadiz is different.
11 months of summer, never again. When I'm 80, 85, yes, but not at my. I'm only 35 years old.
I see that. I see clearly. Yeah, it's the humidity that's a killer. So, and Maria, you're from Venezuela.
I am. Yes.
Where?
I was born in Caracas, but I lived most of my life in the center of the country, in the plains, the agricultural area. So, yeah.
Plenty hot as well, huh?
Huh? Plenty
Very hot as well.
And tropical weather is very humid also.
Yeah.
All year long.
If you see me do this,
yes.
you know what's going on.
Yeah.
And who do we have here? Ah, Camila. Oh, I'm going to evaluate your speech. I'm so looking forward to it. Woo.
Oh, I hope it meets your expectations.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm fascinated with the topic.
Oh.
I'm fascinated.
It was difficult for me to figure something out, but I hope it's nice to hear, and we'll see how I do.
That is the topic. I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn lots.
I hope so.
I think so. And we have Angela as well. That's wonderful.
Hola, Angela. Hello.
Hola.
Hola, chicos, ¿qué tal? Bueno.
Caloroso, pegajosa.
¿Hace calor allí? It's hot.
Estoy en Murcia.
Ah, entonces sí.
Con los burros, buruguitos.
Tengo familia en Murcia, entonces sé lo que es.
Yeah, you understand.
El calor de allí, sí.
And you're in the cool north.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Too cool.
How long are you living in Murcia?
20 years.
20. Oh my God.
I like to be punished, huh?
Yeah. And it's in the city, in downtown?
No, in la costa, in Santiago la Ribera.
Oh, Santiago la Ribera, I know. San Pedro del Pinatar, Santiago is all this area.
Yeah, you know those little villages, they're all one now. They're all joined together.
Yeah, it's a nice walk along this.
Yeah, some lovely places too.
I think there is cooler than in Murcia downtown.
Oh, Murcia capital, I was there 2 weeks ago. It was unbearable.
I know. So,
like living in a sauna box.
yes.
But here we are.
This area is better.
Georgia, please put your contact information on the chat. So if anyone wants to contact you after today's meeting, they can contact you.
Oh, yes, I will. Let me put this down.
Don't be shy.
Me? That'll be the day.
What part of the UK are you from? What part?
Well, no, I lived in London. I'm not really from the UK, but I lived in London many years and I loved it at the time.
Okay.
And I lived, well, all over the place, you know.
I understand.
Huge.
I understand.
Huge.
I understand.
I had a great time there.
I understand. I'm in the same boat. I've lived everywhere. I understand.
But originally, where are you from?
Originally,
where you were
Soy de
born.
la luna. No, I'm Hungarian by birth.
Ah, Hungarian, yeah.
Yeah. So this is my website. Anybody on LinkedIn? Are you guys on LinkedIn? Maria.
Yes, I am, and I already following you.
Let's go. I put in my my LinkedIn as well, because I post regularly there and you'll love it.
You post daily, not
Yeah,
regularly.
I'm good. I love
Daily.
it. Yeah.
Daily.
Yeah.
So you're
Mike
very
is-
active.
Mike is stalking me, you see, he knows.
Hey, I've been to Budapest. I've been to the New York Cafe in Budapest. I was impressed. I don't know if you're
Yes,
from
I
that
know it. Well, it used to be beautiful.
city. And I did the Turkish baths, the whole thing there.
Yeah.
Very familiar with that area.
Turkish baths? No. Hungarian baths.
I'm sorry, Hungarian bath. Thank you. I've been corrected. Thank you. Thank you. And I had the goulash, the Hungarian goulash.
Oh yeah. Did you survive?
I did. It was winter. It was the dead of
Oh,
winter,
that's good,
and
that's
it was perfect. But the wine is strong. The wine is very strong.
Yeah.
It goes to your head very quickly.
Yeah, they like that. And they have also, you have it in every country. They have like a home brew of really strong white alcohol. The Irish, they have a pochine, and in Central Europe, they have like those brandy liqueurs, Slivovic, and in Hungary, they have palinka. And if you're a man, you drink it for breakfast.
Like
You
the
know.
grappa in Italy, the grappa, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Crazy stuff.
You take it for breakfast in winter so you get warm up.
I think that's about it, yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm following you in.
Lovely. Good. I will follow you back when the time later on.
Okay, and do you belong to a Toastmasters club? Which one?
No, I stopped Toastmasters here
Okay.
in Murcia, yeah. We were a very big group many years back, and then some of the people started to leave the world, leave Murcia. Things changed.
Because
So you knew Eamon Agora then. You knew Eamon.
Oh yeah, I met Eamon, yeah.
Yeah. Eamon and I worked together back many years ago to start his club. Many years ago.
To start Mil Palmeras, yes, it was called Mil Palmeras. It used to be in Mil Palmeras, yeah.
Yeah, and the urbanization, the swimming pool. Yeah, on Saturday mornings
That's
from
right,
10:30.
yeah.
We may have met there or we may have not. So it in passing. So long time ago.
We looked very different then, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Are you originally American or Irish, Mike?
I'm from Texas.
Oh, you're
I'm-
from
Hello.
I'm very American. I'm as American as apple pie. Hot dogs, baseball, the whole thing. I'm the whole package.
okay, I think it's time to start the meeting. What do you
Okay.
think? Okay. Hello, Elena. And
Hello,
everybody.
everybody.
Hello.
Okay, as everybody know, because in the group, Maria said that Gabriel now needs more time for his matters. So we are going to assume this role, the president. For the moment, I'm going to take it, but we can do everybody at the same time. So I'm going to open this meeting that is the end of August. And I think it's September is like a school time, and maybe we have more time to spend with our group. So Now, the Toastmaster of the day today is, I think it's Mike. Mike? Sorry. Who's the Toastmasters today? Just a minute. Mike. Yeah, sorry.
It's Mike. It's
Okay,
Mike.
so I give the floor to Mike, the Toastmaster of the day. Mike,
Oh,
all yours.
thank you very much. Happy to be here. I love all your kisses, everybody. It's great to be here. It's Toastmaster Tuesday, and I am your host in English, not in Spanish, maybe in Spanish one day. And as your Toastmaster of the evening, I am your master of ceremonies. I'm like when you come to a dinner party and I'm the host, I introduce you to everybody so y'all can mix and talk to each other and maybe things will happen. Very important. Things do happen when people come together in Toastmasters. I've been a member of Toastmasters International for 38 plus years now. So you can tell I'm 38 years old by the color of my hair. I love Toastmasters. It was my journey which kept me from going crazy from my other job, my real job, because my other job was very stressful. But I survived. And because of Toastmasters, I'm going to share this with you. It helped me focus on what's important and what's not important. It also helped me design my life, where I want to go, who I want to be with, and what I want to do, and where I want to live. Now, this is my story, but it's a long story, but I'm not going to bore you right now. One day I'll write a book and you can read my story. Write a book. We got somebody here today who's going to tell us how to write a book. But she's our guest. I'm not going to say any much about her because she's going to tell you today. She's our special guest all the way from Murcia. To help me in our meeting, and this is our English speaking meeting, we have a grammarian. Elena, could you please tell us about the role of the grammarian? Elena, you got the
Of
stage.
course. Thank you very much, Mike. And hello, everybody, again. My responsibility as grammarian today consists of both choosing a word that can build up our vocabulary and explaining easily so that the people here can use it throughout the meeting. At the end of the meeting, I will also have to give a report of the number of times that people have used the word chosen and to highlight some nice scores or expressions that are sure to appear. Equally, I will also have to find out the use of fillers if there has been any. The word that I have chosen as a word of the day is the verb to appreciate. It's one of my favorite English words because of its marvelous meaning. Appreciate has two different meanings. The first meaning is to say thank you for something, or to be grateful for something. Cicerone called gratitude the mother of all virtues. The second meaning is to increase, to grow. For example, the economy appreciates in value. A bad example now, but it often does. Or my interest in bank has appreciated by 10%. Not now, but sometimes. Appreciation is the noun. Appreciated is the adjective. And sorry, because it's a very difficult question for me to pronounce the adverb, is appreciately or something like that. I would really appreciate if you include the word in today's meeting. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much for that wonderful report. Well, your word of the evening. And you know what? I appreciate all of you taking your busy time on a beautiful day here in Cantabria to be with us for this 1 hour and a half. So I appreciate all of you, okay? I've used it twice already. Thank you very much, Elena. Our next role is going to be the timer, time management, very important. They say you can have more money in life, but you cannot have more time. You know, the earth, 24 hours, that's it. That's all you get. I get 24 hours, you get 24 hours, that's it. So our timer tonight for now is going to be Maria de la Casas, our educational vice president. Maria, you have the stage.
Thank you, Mike. Yes, I'm going to be timer today. And as you all know, time is very important. As Mike said, we can have more money, but we cannot have more time. It's very valuable. So here at Toastmaster, we take time very seriously. And we do appreciate when people take it seriously too. So that's why I'm going to be showing you some colors when it's your time for speaking. And when you get to the minimum amount of time, for example, in speeches will be today from 5 to 7. When you get to 5 minutes, I will show you the green color. When you get to 6 minutes, I will show you the yellow color. And then when your time is done, I will show you the red color, and then you will have 30 seconds of grace. And after that, probably Mike will ring the bell. And for the evaluators will be 2 to 3 minutes. And for the table topics will be 1 to 2 minutes. So I give you the floor back to you, Mike. Thank you.
And thank you very much. Not to be disrespectful, rude, or anything. Yes, if you go over time, all I'm going to do is hit the bell and let you know that you've gone over time. I'm not going to ring it like this. I'm just going to tell you in this virtual reality that you're over time. And if you go way over time, we're going to ask you to stop. Okay, that's just the way it is. Sorry, but we're all busy people here. We're not going to be rude.
You're not going to mute us then.
Well, that we could do that, but that's the next level, Georgia. That's the next level. Okay, you're catching on very quickly, aren't you? I said you could have 10 minutes or more if you needed more time, Georgia. So it's no problem. All right. To evaluate the entire meeting is our Inspector General, the General Evaluator, to tell us what we're doing good and what we're not doing so good. Because we want to improve. Angela, you're our General Evaluator. Please tell us what the General Evaluator does. Please.
Okay. During the meeting, I would take notes about all the process, all the preparation, organization of the meeting. And I have a team that is the grammarian and the timer, and we will give a report at the end of the meeting about our impression. Okay, that's my duty today.
And thank you very much. And now we are very, very fortunate today. We have two speakers. Our speakers will be speaking in the English language, and this is probably it's not their mother tongue, but it's going to be in English language. And we have one pathway speech in the pathway program in Toastmasters, because we now use the pathways method, a very interesting educational program. And we have a guest speaker today. And our first speaker is going to talk about understanding conflict. Understanding conflict. And we'll give her 5 to 7 minutes. Camilla, do you need more time, or are you okay with 5 to 7 minutes?
I'm good with 5 to 7.
Perfect. Ma'am Timer, 5 to 7 minutes. And your evaluator, our guest evaluator, Georgia. And here, Georgia, in Toastmasters Sardinero, after Camilla gives her speech, we will take 2 minutes of silence, and then you'll give your evaluation immediately after her speech. And we give you 2 to 3 minutes to evaluate her. So we evaluate after the speech. And so that's all clear now. Camilla, understanding conflict resolution. Understanding conflict resolution. Camilla, you now have the stage.
Thank you, Mike. 60 million. 60 million is the approximate number of deaths that occurred during the Second World War. This wasn't the only consequence of this conflict. There were also grave economic effects, huge material losses, and millions of orphan children. The list goes on and on and on. So why did so many people have to die? Why did the war last so long? Why did it even begin in the first place? These are questions that have been posed by numerous people since the end of the war, since 1945, by social scientists, by politicians, by the general population. And many of them have given answers, solutions. It varies. One of such answers is that of conflict resolution. And many people started to study it in order to try to avoid another war, such as the one they had just experienced. Conflict has existed since the beginning, since the dawn of human civilization. It began when humans decided to start defending their territory, start defending their tribes. Basically, it's a human phenomenon. And I think it's important to take into account the humanity in conflict because it helps us understand that the solution must be a human solution. I believe that there are three factors that are extremely necessary in order to be able to sit down at a table, negotiate, and resolve a conflict. And these factors coincide with three basic human traits: respect, empathy, and compromise. In terms of respect, when we start negotiating to resolve a conflict, we must respect the opposing party, our opponent, so to speak. Whether it's the individual, you must respect either the individual or that which they represent, the institution. So to give an example, if you're trying to negotiate with a president, you don't necessarily have to respect the person, but you should respect the institution of the presidency. Maybe you are trying to come to an agreement with a teacher. You have to respect the institution of education and what that teacher represents and what they are giving to you. An example to also understand how necessary respect is in order to start any negotiation is the phrase, "We don't negotiate with terrorists." I believe most of you will have heard that phrase. We don't negotiate with terrorists because we don't respect the institution or what terrorism represents. And that's why there isn't a quick resolution or a negotiation with this kind of conflict. Next, we have empathy. Empathy is a tool that is perfect to understand someone else. It puts you into your opponent's shoes. And by doing this, it gives you a broader vision of their wants and needs, of their weaknesses, of their strengths. And in this way, you can more easily decide what you should offer and what their deal breakers are. Last but not least, we have compromise. And it doesn't matter if you respect your opponent, it doesn't matter if you have empathy, if you don't have a compromise with them, there's no resolution to the conflict. Compromise is when we decide to come to an agreement and put ourselves under a certain set of rules, a certain set of obligations in order to maintain the peace. Once we compromise, there are also two sub-factors, I call them, which are trust and risk. We have to trust our opponent, and we should trust that they will abide by the same obligations that we will. But once we trust them, there is always a risk, either big or small, that they won't abide by the same rules and they will go against the agreement. So once you reach this part of the negotiations, you have to weigh the risks, weigh your options, and see if it's really worth it. So these three factors, respect, empathy, compromise, can be used not only at an international level, in state conflicts and wars, but it can also be transferred to the individual and personal level, to our everyday lives. In our families, with our husbands, wives, or children, in our work, with our coworkers and bosses, or even in our day-to-day when we're going on a walk and we bump into someone or that person that's in line in front of us. Situations of conflict, of disarray arise every single day. And with these factors, with respect, with empathy, and with compromise, we are able to resolve them. And if we didn't have this, every day would be a small little war for ourselves. So this study of conflict resolution began in 1945, and we still are studying it today. There isn't a perfect method a perfect technique to resolve conflict. And we still have war there. We don't have world peace yet. But I do believe that this study of conflict resolution has allowed us to avoid many wars that haven't occurred. And with the ongoing study, we will be able to avoid many more. And not only at the international scale, as I said before, but also in our families, in our working lives, and within ourselves. So remember, respect, empathy, and compromise. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
And thank you very much, Camilla, for that very interesting talk. We will now take 2 minutes of silence. If you wish to write, Camilla, your own evaluation by the chat, please do so. Madam Timer, 2 minutes. Thank you.
Time, 2 minutes.
And thank you very much. We will now ask our guest evaluator, Georgia, to evaluate Camilla's speech, 2 to 3 minutes. Georgia, you have the stage.
Thank you so much, Camila, for sharing with us your version of how to deal and how to resolve conflict. And I really like the way you started with questions. I find questions at the start of a speech very powerful to get you to think. You used a very good pace, good clear language, nice pauses, eye contact, even a few gestures. That really worked for me. You chose 3 really good human characteristics. You could have given a longer list, of course, but those 3 fitted in with the Toastmasters, and 3 is a nice number anyway. But it gave a very good idea, gave us enough time to think about them. You explained them well. You gave some examples. I think for me, you could improve a little more with personal story. I would have liked to have heard your own story about what does compromise mean? What does, what was it? Respect. How do you feel about those 3 powerful words, respect, empathy, and compromise? A story that we could all resonate with, that we could all identify with, something that would make us think, yeah, I can do that. That would make sense to me. So I think those were a couple of recommendations I would offer. It's always very difficult to talk about a situation where we have a choice of responding or reacting. How do we respond and how do we react? And sometimes, you know, we react to something, and that's very hard to control with respect, empathy, and compromise. So you kind of handle that very subtly, a little bit general. You kept it, you know, quite general. When you mentioned World War II, 60 million died. It was a bit general from my point of view, but you know, you only have 5-7 minutes, so you can't go too far with that. On the whole, I really liked the way you presented this tricky topic, and you handled it very well with great pace, as I said, nice pauses, good language, good clear language, no hesitations, or the grammarian might correct me. You didn't use the word appreciate, but I appreciated your speech. So once again, I think you did a really fantastic job of covering a tricky topic of dealing with, should we respond? How do we react? And you gave us some great ideas of how to go about that. So thank you very much, Camilla.
Thank you so much.
And thank you very much to our guest evaluator. Well, now it's time for our guest speaker. Now, I have not met our guest speaker. I've been stalking her on the internet, but she's allowed me to stalk her. On LinkedIn, I think everybody stalks everybody. It must be the new thing in this technology world. Let me tell you some things about her. She's been living in Murcia for 20 years. If you've been to Murcia, it's very hot, Murcia. It's hot. There's an airport there where the Spanish military trains their paratroop regiment. She loves dancing, and I hope I said this correctly, bachata. I have no idea what bachata is, but she loves dancing bachata. I'm going to learn one day what bachata is. She can swear and curse in 3 languages. 3 languages. That's great. Wow. And I'm sure one's Hungarian, English, and Spanish. And here's the one that you're really going to be interested in. She loves counting money. I like that. I like that. I like honesty. I love counting money too, but she is a book writing coach, and she's here to talk about writing books. We've given her 5 to 7 minutes. Georgia, you can have more time. So I'm asking now, do you want more time, or is 5 to 7 minutes good for you?
5 to 7 is just right.
Wonderful. 5, 6, 7. And now the title of her book. Are you ready for this? It's not a short. I thought it was going to be a hot little number because I love that title, a hot little number, but it's not. It's not that. It is called All You Ever Wanted to Know About Writing a Book, but Were Afraid to Ask. Again, write this down. All you ever wanted to know about writing a book, but were afraid to ask. Fellow Toastmasters, please welcome our guest from Murcia, Georgia Varjas. I hope I said it correctly. Georgia, you have the stage.
Thank you so much. So how many of you have wanted to write a book? How many of you have dreamed about writing a book? And how many of you have been told, you have to write a book? I bet it's quite a few of you. Of course, as Toastmasters, you were always writing scripts and speeches. And do you know that the topics of your speeches could make an excellent collection of chapters for your book? You see, you could get your book written within 3 months. They say that it takes just 30 minutes a day to write 1,000 words. So in 5 days, you could have 5,000 words. And in 8 weeks, with just 30 minutes a day, just imagine, you could have a 40,000 word book. Pretty good, huh? You see, in my workshops and in my programs, I always suggest simple, practical methods of writing that you might recognize as Toastmasters. Number 1, excellent structure. Number 2, captivating story. Number 3, a style, you know, your unique selling point, your je ne sais quoi, your juice. But do you also know how much the publishing world has changed over the last 3 to 5 years? There are so many independent and hybrid companies publishing books, and the self-publishing world has completely turned upside down. Nowadays, there's only 5 really big traditional book publishing companies. They've all merged into one. And honestly, unless you're infamous or mafia or extremely famous, they're not going to sign you up. So you go for the hybrid, you go for the independence. In practical terms, that means you could write and publish a book in 7 or 8 months if you do the work. We, us humans, we have 2 of the most powerful tools of communication, speaking and writing. And, you know, the only real difference between the 2 is that in the spoken word, we have the pause. In the written word, we have punctuation, which I'm sure you appreciate. Whether you're writing blogs, articles, speeches, or social media posts, every day we are writing something. Maybe some of you are journaling, keeping a diary of events, perhaps a gratitude book, or just brain dumping file. We all seem to be reading and writing and speaking more than ever. And this is really interesting to me to note as a book writing coach, that we actually have even more to say, and we can write things even quicker than we realize. As I mentioned, with 30 minutes a day, very soon you could have a book. I found that there are really 2 types of business books, self-help books, that are on the market today. And one of them carries a really powerful personal message. Someone on a mission, something enlightening to share, personal adventure, or a person who has stacks and stacks of articles, data, case studies hidden away in the cabin at the bottom of their garden, or in the attic, or in the dungeon, or somewhere, you know. And most people end up combining the 2 elements of messages and facts. But you know what captures audiences the most, dear Toastmasters? Story. There is nothing like story to captivate and entertain. So here's a quick one from me. So I've been in the music business, I've been in show business, I've worked as a playwright and a performance poet, or spoken word artist. And I joined a UK slam team, which is a bit like a Toastmaster thing. There was 4 of us in the team, and we would go out and compete in contests with each other's, with the different teams in different towns. We were called the Speaker Lights. And then we went out to the US, and we went to New York City, Connecticut, Boston. We were all over the place. And they had these sort of scorecards, Olympic scorecards, where they would put up a sign, 9.8, 8.6, 5.3, and mine were always like 2s and 3s. They didn't like my work at all. So what happened was, though, after I finished my show, my performance, they would come backstage and they would come up to me and buy my little pamphlets. I've still got them. $2 a pop. So you see, although they didn't really like my spoken word show, they liked my written word. So spoken word and written word had something in common. I got better though as time went on. They got used to me. So I've learned 3 things that you need to know to write a book. Number 1, always work with people who have experience, who know more than you, who have your goal in their mind, not theirs. So don't do it alone. Number 2, have clarity of thought, clarity of your book idea. Make the decision to be determined, disciplined, and driven. And number 3, take plenty of what I call my 3 vitamin C's: confidence, courage, and creativity. And I'm going to leave you on a quote by Beverly Cleary, who says, if you don't see the book you want on the shelf, go and write it. Thank you, Toastmasters.
And thank you very much, Georgia, for that wonderful presentation. And I appreciate it very much. I learned a lot here, and I think our audience also learned a lot from you. Georgia, do you wish to be evaluated, or we have time here? Are you willing to take some questions from our group here?
Either way, whichever suits. I'm open to both.
Okay, we're doing some good time here. Are there any questions for Georgia concerning this topic matter? I open the floor to our Toastmasters here, since we have time.
I have a question.
Please, Maria.
You said that those 3 things, work with people that are experienced, clarity of ideas, and then confidence. And the clarity of ideas, that's the hard part. Sometimes if you are very creative, you have plenty of ideas. And the hard part for me in many fields in my life is to focus in one. So do you work on that matter in your workshops? I suppose you give workshops. I'm not sure, with the book, because you are a book writing coach. I don't know if you offer workshops one-on-one, or, explain a little bit that.
Okay. So getting your book idea is the number 1 thing that I work on, and it's my zone of genius. And you see, you can tell me these ideas, and I've got this idea, and I want that experience to come in the book, and I'm listening, and I'm able to, like a drone, see it from above. And because I've got recent first-hand experience, I know the topics that are written about a lot, that are popular, that people want to know more about. So I'm very good at picking out those key topics. And then it's a matter of honing in. And once you allow that process, very soon you find the clarity, you find that brilliant book idea that is the one that inspires you, not me, that entices you to write, not me, you writing, you'll do the work. I just, excite you, tell you how to go. So I do webinars, I do monthly webinars, which are free. And I've got one coming up next week. I'll pop that link there. So you can, learn a little bit about it, learn some of the tricks and tips and get some training. And I also have, examples of success stories, people who've written books and what they went through. And the benefit really is to find somebody to work with, to find the right kind of person who mentors you, whether you work in a group or you work one-to-one. I do both. And both of them have their benefits. It depends on the pace that you want to work, but getting the book clarity is the number 1 thing. Because once you've got that, then whoo, you just want to write.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other questions? Camila, Helena, Camila? Any questions?
Angela maybe have a question before.
Yeah, I would like to know when you start writing. When was your first book, or when you got inspired?
I think I was always, we learn to write at a very early age in most of the countries of the world. We're very privileged. They shove a pencil in your hand and they make you do the ABC and all that. So you learn very young. And I think it was always a great way for me to express myself. You know what I loved? Dialogue. That's why I got into playwriting. I love that, you know, and I used to do just dialogue between two people. Quick, short dialogue. Wonderful thing to do. Cuts out all the other adjectives, adverbs, punctuation, who cares, you know? Dialogue, it's just direct. You know, it's like the way we talk. Con una caña, and you know, we're off. And dialogue is great. Poetry, lovely way to express yourself if you're feeling creative and inspired by something. Great to put your words down, or if you want to get things out of your system, to have a good rant on paper. Nobody's going to interrupt you. What is it? There's an American writer called Lee Child, very popular bestseller, and he says, writing is showbiz for shy people. I hope that answers your question.
Where do you find your inspiration?
Everywhere, all around me. There's so much to write about today. There's so much.
But you find inspiration based on people or in things that you usually see, and you transform into
I love
different
people
ones?
watching. I love people watching and people listening, and you know, human beings are such funny characters. And nowadays, there's just so much to see about human behavior that is really like mind-boggling, fascinating. And you know, we have so much access nowadays, don't we, with the internet, videos, we can watch everybody doing everything all the time. So there's always, you know, if you've got opinions, especially the ladies, right? Ladies, express your opinions.
Yes, ladies express their opinions, but sometimes this opinion you don't find appealing at all. It's very difficult to find inspiration or to find the people, the suitable people. I don't know, for me it's a very difficult task, and even if you need to come up with different ideas that at the beginning you find really appealing, but after a while, when you started to write, you realize that these ideas or these people don't have enough resources or tools to talk about them. Maybe it's happened at the beginning, or it's something that you think that is very useful, or this topic have a lot of things to say, but in the end, it's a very short topic. I don't know.
Well, maybe you're stopping yourself. Maybe you stop yourself from releasing what you really want to say. Maybe you care too much about what other people think. I don't know. I don't. Writing is an opportunity for you to express yourself.
Yes, it is. It is indeed.
Thank you for your questions. Great questions.
Thank you very much.
Camilla, do you have a question for Georgia?
Ooh, feedback.
Sorry. No, I don't have any specific questions. What Maria said about clarity and what you said about clarity is something that I struggle with if I have to write something. But because I've always been a person that I used to like to, well, I still like to read, but when I was little, I loved to read. I was reading all day, and I kind of dreamt of being able to write, but I was never really able to, like further on in life. When I was little, I had this huge imagination and I would just write everything. I didn't care. And now I just have that problem with clarity of how to focus on something and keep going with it instead of leaving it and getting bored. So that's something I would have to work on. And I think it's interesting that you mentioned it, because for me, it's the most difficult part. Because then when you start writing, for me, it just comes out naturally once you really start and you have an actual topic. but that's the hard part, the topic.
Okay, so I would just say two things to you. Don't censor. There's too much censorship going on everywhere in the world, but don't let it happen in your head. That's number one. And number two, be that child again. Be that child again. Did you keep diaries or anything like that?
No, never. The thing is that I went to a school that was amazing, and they had like a creative writing class. So I would write stories for class, and I loved it. I loved it. It was so much fun. And when it's homework, it's easier for me because I know what I have to do. And that's what happens to me in university. I have a topic. I have to write about this, or I don't know, this conflict or this person or whatever. And okay, I know what I have to write about and I'll do it, but that's the thing.
So, in the coaching world, if any of you are in the coaching world, the popular topics are limiting beliefs. Think about that one. And censorship. Stop censoring that beautiful imagination of yours. Let it rip, girl.
Thank you so much I appreciate this talk that we've had and that you've had with us and all the questions that you've been answering. Thank you.
I appreciate you.
And I appreciate everybody. Those are some good questions. And Georgia, thank you very much for giving us the time to answer the questions. I got a question for you now. And this is probably going to be the most important question. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, I love it.
Good. We want to invite you to come back in the future, because if you can swear in 3 languages, I think we would be honored to have you to give this presentation or another presentation in Spanish. Please think about that. You don't have to answer now, but I am putting you on the spot. I think when we get back to after the holidays, when our members return from holidays, I think your message in any language is very important for those of us who want to learn how to be the clarity and put that message on paper. It's something we're losing today in today's world, in my opinion only. We're losing that ability to write, read, and the technology thing. But that's just, and I think you know where I'm going with this. Georgia, we invite you to come back.
Thank you so
and
much.
give your presentation in Spanish. Don't give us an answer now. Think about it. No pressure. No pressure.
I love a challenge.
I know you love a challenge, and we're very happy you're here with us. We're going to move on now to our table topics. We'll be for a few minutes, and we're doing very good on time management. So today we are doing very good on time management. Please look at the chat. Georgia has all the information about a workshop next week, I think September 8th, which is a Wednesday. She's on LinkedIn. We'll get the information out. If those of you who are interested, please contact Georgia and let your writing style begin, because you got to, now I like what you said, Georgia, don't censor yourself. That's a very strong phrase, and I'm going to remember that one. I'm going to remember that very well. Thank you. There's too much censorship going around. All right, table topics. I believe, Maria, you got the stage. Table topics. We're doing good on time. Let the show begin. You're on stage.
Thank you, Mike. This is the part that I love the most, not only when I am the table topic master, but also when I am the other side, because it's improvisation. So whatever comes to mind, that's when we shouldn't censor ourselves and our creativity should fly. So today we cannot write a book. We cannot even write a story because we are speaking, we are communicating orally, but we can tell a story. So I will show you one picture with one title, and with that picture and that title in mind, you should, in 1 to 2 minutes, tell us a story. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. ¿Por qué no puedo share my screen? Oh, here. Okay. Is it big? Mike, can you be the timer?
Yes, I am. I am timer. I got the cards right here.
Okay, good. So this is The Bird. So with The Bird as a title, Angela, can you tell us a story in 1 to 2 minutes? I think you're muted.
Sorry, it's quite slow. Could you repeat just the phrase or the name?
Yes, this is The Bird. So The Bird would be the title of your story, and this is the picture to motivate you to think.
Okay, I remember perfectly. I was in that roof, in a terrace, in a roof, in a place surrounded by sea. I mean, nice walk around, and I was lay down. In the sun was burning me, and I was looking at the sky, and a bird was flying and stopped just on top of me. And it was something very impressed, because I thought, oh, maybe it's like a God tried to tell me something, because it was looking at me all the time, and it was very quiet, with the wings up, I mean, all white. And it was a moment that I feel like I was in peace, a very relaxing time. And it was in my mind when I'm nervous, I'm in a hurry or something, I close my eyes and I think in that bird on the top of me, the blue sky, and I have more calm and I'm more relaxed. So it's a moment in my life.
Thank you, Angela. I appreciate your speech, your impromptu speech. And now let me show you the next image. This is the moon. So with this image and the title, The Moon, Elena, could you tell us a story for 1 to 2 minutes?
I try it. This is the moon. I appreciated the power of the moon. Not maybe now, but yes, some years ago, when I went to this island, maybe some of you remember, and I found my vampire, and it was a full moon in the island that made possible the opportunity to see the figure, the shape of the person. And I felt really happy, because it was the most marvelous and handsome person that I have ever met in all my life. And for that reason, I appreciated the moon and its power. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elena. I remember that speech about the vampire. You need to tell it us again. Okay, so let's keep going with this image. And of course, this is the house. And with this image and the title, The House, Georgia, would you tell us a story? I'm sure you will give us a very nice story.
Okay, so this is a house I would not live in. First of all, it looks a bit autumny. It looks like it's going to be a cold place. I don't like the fact that my garden is seen by everybody. Now, that's not a house I would buy. I might stay in it overnight, but it's not the kind of place I would spend much time in. But if I owned the house, I would rent it out so I could count my money. And enjoy the benefits of it. Yes, in fact, that's exactly what I would do. I would put it out as a rental because I think it would be very appealing to a lot of people. It's got those little windows at the top, which children would love. And I'm sure it's got some space out the back to keep chickens and whatever else people like to keep, dogs and cats and things like that. So it would be really a good place for me to, oh yeah, there you go. It's got a little back garden there. So I think it would be a great money making business for me, passive income. That would be my idea of this house, a little passive income, and definitely never live there. Thank you very much.
Great idea. Thank you, Georgia. I appreciate your ideas and your advice. I also like to count money, my money though. Okay, so let's keep going with Camila now. And I have this image for you, Camila. So in 1 to 2 minutes, tell us a story about this image. And of course, the title of your story will be The People.
The people.
You're muted.
Oh,
Okay. Go ahead.
this image reminds me of all the people that are in my street from Thursday to Saturday, Sunday. And they go out to party in my street because my street is a party street. And I think my parents don't appreciate that very much. But I do. I did before, not now during COVID times where going out is kind of, I don't feel very good about it. But when we first moved here, I was 16 years old and it was perfect. It was perfect because the party street was my street. And if my mom said I had to be home at 12, I would go start walking home at 11:59. So this was perfect for me. And I would go out, I would be with my friends in my street or at the street close to it. But my parents can't stand it, couldn't stand it, and still don't like it, of course, because you can hear all the people right in your house. It's fun to be surrounded by people when you're in the street and you're partying and you're trying to have a good time and socializing. But when you just want to go to sleep, people are your worst enemy. So in the world we live in today, with so many people in the world, we have to try to appreciate what we have, that we're surrounded by people, because there are very many lonely ones out. So just try to appreciate it, I guess. Thanks.
Thank you, Camila. Okay, I have to explain that Camila and I are in the same room here. So that's why we have problems with the sound. Okay, Mike, I think you are the one left, and I have a picture for you too. So let's see. This is the tree, Mike. So with the title, The Tree, and with this image, tell us a story in 1 to 2 minutes, please. And I will time it for you.
Thank you very much, Madam Table Topic Master. The tree of life, the tree of knowledge, the tree of wisdom. The tree is they say the tree has feelings, emotions. It's part of the Mother Earth. Maybe it is. I don't know. But the one thing I learned living here in Cantabria, which I never learned when I lived in Cadiz, here the trees, when they talk to you, is by their scent. You can smell the trees. Now, I do a lot of walking here for my health. And when you walk here in Cantabria or in any of the walking paths, there's a scent here that is so invigorating that you appreciate the nature that is here. You have the ocean, which is beautiful here. The blue, oh, it's incredible here. You have the sky, you have the green, but it's the green of the trees, the smell, and the feeling, especially in the morning. If you're a morning person like me, the trees are talking to you. Oh, they're talking to you. And there's a sense that just you can feel it. And it's the flowers, it's the pine trees. There are many type of trees here. And if you go walking at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, they are talking to you. But it's a very philosophical way, very spiritual way. And wow, your mind just goes, this is beautiful. I never experienced this in Cadiz, never. But here in Cantabria, you can feel it, the smell, the air, the wind, the sky. It's a different feeling, and it's the tree of life, the tree of wisdom, the smell. Oh my God, the smell here is beautiful. And it's so fresh in the morning. And it's fresh at night too. And this is what I experience here in Cantabria. Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate all your speeches, impromptu speeches, great stories. Now you have a first step to start writing that book, and Georgia will guide you or will guide us all through that path. So thank you very much, and I return the floor back to you, Mike.
And thank you very much. We're doing very good on time. Now it's time for us to go to our general evaluator. Angela, you got the stage.
Okay, so I will call my team. That is the timer. So please, the timer, could you give your report, please?
Yes, Angela, of course. I have the time here for Camila, who was the first speaker. Her time was from she should have to use 5 to 7 minutes. She did 6 minutes and 12 seconds. Then Georgia evaluated her, and it was 2 to 3 minutes, and her evaluation was 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And then her speech was 6 minutes and 40 seconds, perfect. And I believe that table topics were in between 1 to 2 minutes, at least. I didn't see Mike with the red flag. So I suppose we were on time on that. And the clock shows that we are at 9:02. So I think we've been doing great on time. So that's my report.
Thank you for your report, Maria. I think you took your notes, and I think everybody was on time. So great meeting with this. Okay, and now I'm going to call our grammarian, Elena Varela. Could you please give your report, please?
Of course, Angela. I would like to say a word of appreciation, because the word has been repeating, I think, 19 times. My 5 times, Camila 5, Angela no 1, Maria 4, Georgia 3, and myself twice. Twice, not 3, because a word of appreciation. And I've also picked up some, in my opinion, nice expression, like, for example, my son was genius. Respect, empathy, and compromise. I like these 3 words together. Empathy is to understand everyone else, and we can transfer in personal levels respect, empathy, and compromise. This is my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elena. I appreciate very much your report because I could notice I was the only one who used the word. So now it's time for me to speak more and appreciate your time being here. And speaking about the evaluation of the meeting, I think that in every meeting we can share our ideas, and today one of the ideas was like creativity, writing, thinking about compromise, but also in the compromise we have to be here every week. So thank you for that. And I appreciate in this meeting, now I try to, to add more points for me. No, I appreciate that even it's the end of summer and maybe it's hard to be together again. All of us try to put our the best of ourselves to have a very nice meeting. Maybe next time we can do like well, a little bit with more energy. Today maybe I think we were like a little bit calm in referring other times. Of course, the two speeches were very interesting, very different. One of them with Camila thinking about more deep topic, and with Georgia, I think it was like put in everyone like the seed. Why not writing? Why not express our ideas? So I think it's a good point for all of us. Maybe it was in our mind sometimes. So now it's time to think about it. The evaluations, the Georgia evaluation was very useful, I think, for our speaker. And of course, the table topics is for me also is one of my favorite sections in the meeting. Thank you, Maria, because it was very creative, like try to make up a story that is good for all of us. Well, it's my report of the meeting. Thank you for being here every week. Back to you, Mr. Toastmasters.
And thank you very much, Angela, for that very good report and very thorough. And yes, we had a good meeting today. It's the quality, not the quantity. And we are having a good time here today in Cantabria. And with, of course, with our special guest, who took her valuable time to be with us today. So before I turn the meeting over to our acting president, one phrase to describe the end. Summer, we still have 3 weeks of summer. Technically, 3 more weeks of summer. So, but today is the last day of August, where many people are going home and the Spanish holidays are coming to an end. For some people are on holiday every day, like me. I'm on holiday every day. So, one phrase you want to share with us about summer coming to an end. If you can think of a phrase. If you can't not think of one, just say pass. So, Camilla, one phrase of summer coming to an end. Share with us, please.
Quick.
Say again.
Oh, it's a phrase. Okay, I thought it was a word. It's been too cold and too quick, but we'll see how it'll be next year.
Very good. It's too cold and too quick. Thank you, Camilla. Elena, one phrase, one sentence about summer coming to an end. One phrase, sentence.
I feel nostalgic.
Okay. Maria, one sentence, one phrase.
I actually love this summer. I like the coolness of it, and I'm ready for cozy comfort food, fall food. ¿Será que no me oyó? Are you there, Mike?
Let's see if she becomes unfrozen.
Okay,
You
now
were
you are.
frozen.
Yeah, I thought it was me. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Georgia, one phrase, one sentence with summer coming to an end.
When it does, down here, for me, it means no more swimming in the sea.
That's true.
I miss
No
that.
more. Okay.
Another few
Thank
weeks.
you. Okay. Angela, one sentence, one phrase of summer coming to an end.
I will miss the light. the light of the summer. I like it.
And for me, my one phrase is, I'll be happy when the tourists go home. And if you've been in Cantabria for a while, you know what I'm talking about. We are happy they're home. My city clean. And I won't say anything else than that. Did I miss anybody? I did not. It's been a pleasure being a Toastmaster of the evening. It's always fun to come together, learn, share. We offered Georgia to come back and visit us to give her presentation in Spanish because after the holidays, our members are coming back. She has a seminar next week on the 8th, which is a Wednesday. Please look at that. Outstanding opportunity knocks. Georgia, thank you very much for being here with us today. And I really mean that. Your time is valuable. Our time is valuable. We come together for an hour, 15 minutes, and we just share. And we learn from each other. And we do want you to come back. And I really mean that in a sincere way. I'll return our meeting to our acting president. She'll close it. And it's been a pleasure. Angela, Madam Acting President, I turn the stage back to you.
Okay, thank you very much again for your effort to be here and for sharing our time together. Well, next meeting, it will be in Spanish. So start now signing up in Easy Speak for all the roles. And I'm sure Maria is going to pushing us to do more speeches. And it's a school time, September. So think about it and start working hard. Thank you very much. See you next week. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
Hi, everybody. Ciao,
Bye.
ciao. Ciao.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Nice to meet you.